All right, guys, so I'll kick off the meeting. So this is our third meeting for our Reduce, Reuse, Recycle initiative that we're trying to kick off in our sustainability effort. First off, I would just like to acknowledge and pay respect to the elders, both past and present, on the lands in which this meeting takes place today, as they are the true custodians of the land. All right. So this is just the agenda that we worked on last week, that we set last meeting that we were going to start for this one. All right, so we're just going to have a quick run through of the sustainability survey, which was the pre-survey. Then we're going to dive straight into the expo and look at our other aspects. And then we'll move on to ongoing initiatives and then just closing remarks. All right, we'll kick off. I think, Kwan, you're up first.
So it is worth mentioning that why do we choose survey instead of other research methods? According to Terry, survey allows us to gather a large amount of data in a relatively short period of time. It is also less expensive than many other collection techniques, as surveys can be created quickly and administered easily. Surveys are distributed to students in local schools across different year levels. From the survey, that 80% of the students do not think reduce, recycle, and reuse is important. 70% of the students do not practice recycle and reuse at home. And 60% of the students did not learn anything about reuse, recycle, and reduce in school. So it is important to increase students' awareness regarding this issue.
Yeah, so that was just our pre-survey. That was a pre-survey we ran a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that went out to all students, didn't it? Just to get an understanding.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking results there.
Yeah, not exactly positive, is it?
Well, when you think about how much we have to collect rubbish at lunchtime, I'm actually not that surprised.
It's true.
Same in the classroom.
But they're just really high numbers.
Yeah, it's surprising, but it's also at the same time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting once we do the post-survey, once we kick off this initiative within the school to see and hopefully get those numbers to decrease.
Yeah, hopefully.
I think we need it.
Get this up and running.
Well, I think it just further enforces the need for it, and hopefully the senior exec agree to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Alex, you were meeting in with the various faculties since our last meeting.
Yeah, so earlier this week, I had the pleasure of sitting in on the KLA meeting with all the coordinators. So pitch the idea that we've had so far for this Sustainability Expo and PBL that would be ongoing. So as you can see up on the screen are sort of some of the main concerns that were brought up by each faculty. The main trend that came from this meeting was pretty much who does the work fall on for this, who's going to plan all the units, plan all the assessments, and how do we align with their original syllabus requirement. I understand that they are quite not hesitant, but it would be a bit more stressful for them at first seeing this because it's extra work to begin with. But I think we need to try and sort of push a positive positive view of this and the benefits that come from it.
Yeah, I think it's like I said. I think it really needs to be pushed in. A lot of the faculties, there is a lot of different initiatives or aspects to this expo that I think each faculty could contribute. So I think we could get some really, really great work out of this. And I think the students will enjoy it as well.
Yeah, the main thing will be we have to make sure we keep those sort of channels of communication open to make sure that those faculties sort of don't feel like they're left in the dark and expected to show up with a new unit, a new assessment thought on their own, sort of making sure it's this whole school, so it's all staff, all students, we're all involved in this together.
Yeah, I think like maybe if you have a meeting with them again, just further reiterate that they're not going to be left to their own devices to try and generate these ideas. We will work with them the whole way through it. And we don't want it something that's a daunting task for them. We want them to get involved and get behind it.
Yeah.
And also considering one of the school strategic plans is surrounding improving on our education as ourselves as teachers, I think you should really push that towards the other faculties. Is about it's a PBL project. It's a real current way of teaching our students and making connections across faculties. So maybe you can push it like that.
But they've also got to realise too that sustainability is a cross-curriculum priority in all of our syllabuses.
That's exactly right.
This is just going to be one way that they can just tick that off as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Meet them next week, so I'll make sure I bring all these points up with them.
All right. Do you want me to attend with you just so we can further reiterate it?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Just flick me the details and I'll make myself available. All right. Moving on. All right. Contact with schools. So I've had the pleasure the last week to be in contact with various schools within our local district regarding our initiative and what we're trying to achieve with our exhibition for our sustainability effort. I've had some overwhelming responses with a lot of the public schools saying that they would love to bring some of their students in to experience our expo and what we put on and get involved. So that's really promising. So as you can see, they're the schools that have registered interest. They've just stipulated that they'll need further information as we generate further into our project, essentially. So I will keep in contact with these schools as we progress, essentially. So, and I will try and increase the local high schools if any other interest. All right.
It's good that some of our feeder schools are there. It can really be like that connection between the primary schools and the secondary school.
Yeah, it's a good bridge for them too.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting, and it's just also encouraging community involvement as well.
Absolutely.
So I think it's also important that we open this exhibition to the general public as well. So that could create some issues, but we'll just see as we go on. All right. WHS and budget. I think Esther, you were looking into this. Yeah.
What you just mentioned, Brad, that's actually a perfect segue into budget, but I'll just talk about WHS concerns first. We just really need to be mindful of those, and in particular, protective equipment when collecting the rubbish.
This is when we do the initiative, the kids picking up the rubbish,
Yeah, that's part of it. So we need to look at gloves, the correct footwear, because some of our students don't wear the correct footwear to school. They need to have the correct footwear when doing this tough task, and also having enough of the claws so the students aren't bending frequently. So looking at the budget, we need to have a really clear budget for this. And when I had a look at the 3-year school plan, one of the points was about community engagement under strategic direction 3. And so I've been in discussions with Penrith Regional Gallery to kind of sponsor the nights and also have the students' artwork taken to the gallery so we can have more of a community involvement. Yep. And then I've also been in talks with the Aboriginal Community Centre that is actually across the school from us. And I was thinking that we could build a connection with their youth service, considering 18% of our students are Indigenous and they may actually be using this service. So we were having to think about the skate park mural workshops, thinking about actually bringing that to our school and having a big sustainability mural that the students both in the workshop and our own can create around the school, just to open up a bit more of a community engagement. And so that's 2 different people I've been speaking to about sponsoring. Yep. And then I was also thinking that we can get a few dedicated bins around the school so that students and staff can put in their 10-cent plastic bottles for return and earn. And then we can also have like a running table so students can actually see how much money they are able to collect and what this money is actually going to go to. Because myself, over 2 weeks, I was able to collect $4 worth of plastic bottles. And when you think of how many staff and how many students we have, that is a lot of money that we could be raising, and the students will actually be able to see that. And if in the end we're able to buy something for the students, not just pay for this night, I think that will be really impacting on the students.
Yeah, I think it's also a good way to also fund some further long-term initiatives that we've been sort of looking into briefly. So, all right, and let's move on from that. All right, ongoing initiatives, Tamin.
Yeah, so now we're doing the expo for 1 semester, but we don't want the students just do it for 1 semester, then forget it in the next one. So
we want them to be lifelong learners.
Yeah, of course. So we want to have a whole year initiative for every school year so that the student can have a better sense of sustainability in their life. So these are the whole year initiative we've come up so far. So we're definitely working on more initiative in the future, but now that's how it come up. Right.
I like some of them. Yeah, I like the idea of, like Esther touched on as well, the cash cage. It's a great idea.
Yeah, also the agriculture part, we have good use of it.
Yeah, it's a great idea where students can actually learn and get involved with the process of growing their own food and the benefits of just supporting local and doing it for themselves.
Yeah, I think there's some great initiatives.
Yeah, all right, that's something to keep us going on. All right, I think we'll just keep touching back on them, and as the project unrolls further on, we'll develop some more and solidify some of these, and hopefully bring them into fruition. All right. So closing remarks. I know it's been a bit of a quick meeting for us this week, but I think we're all just head deep into the planning stage for it.
Yeah.
So what are our goals for our next meeting?
I'll definitely go see all the KLA coordinators and
I'll touch in with you with that as well.
Yep, and hopefully we'll come back with a bit more of a clear idea of what we were going to do with that and what we're going to start planning with those faculty members.
Yeah, I've got a meeting later in the week with some of the senior execs regarding this expo and what we've come up with so far. So I will feed in from this, and I'll take the minutes that you've been collecting and have discussions with them about it. All right.
Yeah, so walk around school and visit some of the faculty then to see if they have more ideas for the initiative.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be plenty of great ideas. Yeah. Do you know what could be even a good idea is, as the project unfolds, getting the students involved in it as well. I'm sure they could come up with some great ideas. So I think this is just further driving our continuous improvement module and our sustainability. So hopefully we're heading in the right direction. As we've seen from the collection of the surveys, our school Chromebook Guide definitely needs it. We need to start bringing our students into thinking about their actions and the future implications.
Absolutely. Speaking of goals and meetings, do we want to plan our next meeting? Is everyone happy with the same time next week?
Yep. I think that works for me. Yep. So Alex, can you just make sure that you flick me over the details when you're meeting up with the heads of the faculties, so I can just make myself available?
Can do.
All right. Thanks
and
for that,
I
guys.
think I'll also have a bit more. I'm hoping to close up the budget with those 2 community partners. So hopefully by next week I'll have something about that as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought about it before, but it'd be a great idea to involve I'm sure the visual arts department will love getting involved with Penrith Regional Gallery, just to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will love it, and I'm sure our students will come up with some phenomenal artwork. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think that concludes the meeting for today.
All righty. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks.